I'm Ryan, this is my brother Daniel, and this is Rolls and the Family. And today we're here to talk about our top plays, board game plays of the month of October. What was the best? Were there many? You won't know, really, if there were more than 3.
They never know.
But these are definitely the best.
Every month,
3.
Ryan, both of us gets to the last couple days, and we're like, well, we should probably start playing some board games.
3 games.
We actually don't even like board games, but we do it just for the channel.
The channel's been a big chore, to be honest.
It really has.
Yeah, we're excited to talk about some good games today. Another thing, want to call out some little housekeeping items. Ooh. We have a link in the description below to a Google form where you can submit questions, because we are planning in the next month or so to put out our annual Ask Us Anything video. So you can go and you can ask us anything. Now, we won't necessarily answer every question, but you're welcome to submit that. But yeah, you can submit questions about board games. Maybe there's times you've been watching videos and you're just like, I wish they would just talk a little more about this, or I want them to talk about this. And you can't control it. It's pre-recorded. But here, you have some power. We're giving you some power.
We are giving over control to the viewers.
Just a little bit.
Wow.
So we'll still select from what's submitted, but we try to include anything that's not egregious. And so you can also ask things. I mean, if you want to ask like more personal questions, it doesn't necessarily. But we want to, be a little bit flexible. It doesn't have to be strictly board gaming related. If you want to talk about, the defensive schemes of the Denver Broncos,
my gosh, we might Ryan, we might have to do a whole separate video for that.
Submit the questions.
Yeah.
Go Bo Nix. But we're here now to just talk about some games that we've played recently, and I'm going to hand it over to Daniel to kick us off.
Well, Ryan, I feel like we want to hear from our viewers what their top play of
That's true. That's another
October was. Down in the comments below, let us know, because it is fun to hear what the people are playing, Ryan, especially
what's actually hitting the table.
I know. Well, and it's especially because we start seeing some similar people commenting on these, so it's fun that you start to get we see you. Don't think you're hiding there. So yes, let us know down in the comments below what your top play of October was. What my not top play of October was, my third top play, is a game that I got for my birthday, and I actually think it might have been in my top plays last month. Got another play of it, and man, Ryan, this one just it feels like, for what it's kind of the space it's living in, it does the implementation of this game just so well. This goes to Clank Catacombs. I got to play just recently, I think it was within the last week, another 4-player game of Clank Catacombs. Totally different group of people. I don't think any of them had played even base Clank before, but they had heard of it, and so we're interested in trying it. And man, this one just every time goes over so well, and like for me, dopamine hit of exploring and flipping and deciding how you're going to orient. I mean, that every tile is so interesting. Like you never just get a tile and you're like, oh, that's a boring tile. It's like every tile has cool things on it and how the paths connect. It's like the game. I don't know if you've played this one, Tsuro. Yeah. So it's like that, but mixed with in the Clank system, which is just so fun to see how the paths connect, and we had a really, really cool game of it. I mean, we were all going out, and I'm trying to remember, for me, I mean, I ended up kind of I think pushing things a little bit later. Like, it's always that tension of, do you want to try to grab an artifact early, or do you gamble? I mean, it's the whole game, right? How much are you gonna gamble going out? But then we had a guy get back a lot earlier than we thought, and that moves the dragon up, and suddenly it's like, not only are you drawing more cubes, which are damaging you every round, but now every time it's his turn, you're drawing. So it's just interesting. The pacing of the game is really interesting, because it really depends on the players of like who's gonna go back first and kind of trigger that, like, oh no, we gotta start moving. So he got back. I ended up being able to get all the way back and safely, but it was awesome, because we had this one guy who was just risking it. I mean, he is just so far out there. He's got such a far way to get back, and we're drawing, so many out of the bag. But he and he's looking at his path, and it is not looking good. Like, he has almost, I mean, the way he would have to go is just, especially when some of the tiles have like one ways and stuff like that, it can make it really, really challenging. So he realizes my best bet, and he's maybe like, he's on the top of the side of where you got to get back. So he's got to get all the way down and up, to get in.
Yeah.
He realizes my best bet is to go the unexplored route, to just go over and explore down. So he's got cards for movement. Like, he got the boots of the apes or something.
Yeah, the ape lords or whatever.
Ryan, those, late in the game, you don't care about the clank that it's adding, into your bag, but they give you a bunch of movement. So he is just exploring, flying, exploring, and it's going, and he's having this miraculous run, like it's just him at this point, right?
Yeah.
And gets all the way, but then he needs to explore one more tile to then connect to like where he needs to get in and come up. And it's like the worst tile that he could have gotten, because I think he ended up needing like a key to get through, but then another key, and he didn't have the key that he needed to get through.
Yeah.
And so I was like, no. And so he tried to go another way, and I think he ended up dying. But so I ended up pulling this one out, Ryan.
Wow.
But yeah, it's interesting. I told them, like, normal Clank, you kind of just play on a similar map kind of each time, and I think they were in agreement of just this is such a fun way to experience.
It would be really hard if you play Clank Catacombs first, I think.
I know, I agree.
Then go to Clank.
I agree. Versions. So, yeah, man, it's been so cool to, obviously this is a kind of a beloved system, the Clank system. It's simple. I think that's one of the things that works really well. It's just a simple deck builder with some kind of, push your luck of how far you're going to go. But the exploration in this game, Ryan, it is so good. Gives me a little bit of even what like Escape the Curse of the Temple gives, of exploring out, similar feels. So yeah, that was a fun one. Just hit the spot with what we were looking for there.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought this one up, because I actually also played Clank Catacombs and it missed my list. So this gives me an opportunity
Did you die
to
before you got back?
Well, here's the thing. It's the first game I've ever been a part of that everyone died.
Wow.
No one made it out.
What does that mean?
Both other players were in the purple tiles that are closer,
so
which
you
means
still get...
you still score. You just don't get the 20 points for getting out. I was the only one that was dead in the depths. I also had the boots of the ape lords, which are very good for movement.
They are.
But the clank is not optional. Like,
no.
Whenever
it's like,
you
isn't
get
it
that,
3 or something that it's adding every time? Yeah.
So I was definitely hurting, and I was to the point where I was 1 away from the purple tiles, and I was doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I'd be competitive, and I just had to survive 1 more of the dragon, and I think they drew 5, and I drew 3 of mine, or 2 and a ghost, I think. And I could have survived 2, but I couldn't survive 3, and so I died. But yeah, it was very so then it was very funny, because the other 2 are going back, and trying to get out, and then they're starting to realize like it's unlikely they're going to get out, because it's kind of slow down that last stretch, because there's like a crystal cavern and stuff, and with the way that our dragon was like maxed out, so
right.
And so there was actually an interesting moment where one of them was going to use a key to do that last way back to get up, but then was going, even if I do that, the odds of me making it back in time are really, really slim. But the other guy doesn't have a key. So if I unlock this, I'm actually giving him a chance, because he'll be able to get through. So it was very funny, because he ended up deciding, I'm not going to unlock it. And like,
my gosh.
And basically let me go see if I can find some more points somewhere.
Wow.
And stay in the purple so that you get to score. And
unbelievable.
So, yeah, it felt like the end of a movie with like a deep betrayal in the party. Like, you're going to unlock it, right? No. Throws away the key.
The key off the edge and runs. Oh, my gosh.
Yes. However, my personal game was not so
cinematic.
hot to this one. It probably would have been my 4th play of the month.
Wow.
But yeah, good stuff with Clank Catacombs.
Very cool.
I am going on to my number 3, which is Wonderland's War. This is one that I haven't gotten to the table a ton since I've got it. Like, I've probably had it for a couple of years now. This is probably my 4th play or so of it. So very fun to just get this one played again. It was playing with 2 people who hadn't played it before.
Yeah.
And this is just an example of a game where every decision you get to make in the game is just like a fun decision of good options.
I like that.
Like the card drafting around the table, and it's drafting where you can go to whatever card you want. It's just the faster you go around the table, the more you're going to trigger having to like roll the madness die. And every card is good. And so it's a little bit of this like, oh, but I want this, but I want this. I have to kind of decide what to go for. And yeah, it's cool with the Wonderlandian cards that, either give you 2 unique chips that you get to put into your bag, or it gives you a figure that you're going to get to put in one of the regions and has some kind of ability. So yeah, it's just, I remember as I was playing it, I was just like, man, this game's just fun. It's just fun.
Yeah.
I had a pretty bad game of it, honestly. Like this, I almost didn't want to put this on the list just because it didn't go all that well for me. But that's a testament to the game that it was fun enough.
It overcame your poor performance.
But part of it was, so I was Alice in this, and I leaned a little bit into. She has some personal abilities you can unlock that her artifact chips. There was one of them that it allows you to, like, when you draw it, you refresh your shield, which is like it's like the flask in Quacks where you can like cancel something. And then I also had one that if I had one of those artifacts in my row at the end of one of the battles, I could move Alice to another region. So I could potentially take advantage of Alice's strength in like multiple battles because I can like keep moving her. So I was like leaning into this whole thing. Well, it was tragic because in the one, we're starting a round. You do 5 of these battles in a row going around clockwise. And I have Alice in the first one strategically because I'm going to likely get an artifact and move her. And as we're drawing and stuff, for whatever reason, my mind was in this mindset of, I'm still safe. There's no way I can bust. So I'm going to keep going until... And for some reason, my brain was just completely not processing the fact that I only had 2 people left in the region, and you have 1 chip that is a 2. I was, the normal ones are just you lose 1, you lose 2. And so, I'm in this mindset of just like safely drawing. Once it's not safe, I'll think about it.
Yeah.
And I draw this and I like look at it for like 5 seconds, processing what has just happened. Because it was this moment of, oh my gosh, had I been aware of that this was a possibility, there is no way I would have drawn. Like I would have I was like ahead on the battle track. I would have stopped. I would have guaranteed. I already had the artifact.
Try to argue with the group of, I would have known.
I don't think it was arguable. It was the deed was done. The deed was done. It was in my hand, and it was such a tragedy because it was you plan this whole strategy and then now fortunately so I lost Alice. That was the whole problem, is she's one of the units I lost. So now, and I then don't get to like trigger my effects, and I didn't win the battle. It was all terrible. Fortunately, in like the next battle, that ability still works even if Alice is off the board, that I could bring her back, but I didn't get her in the next battle. So it really threw a wrench in everything and kind of soured a bit of the experience there at the end. But still a very, very fun experience. And, I love how different each game feels with especially those Wonderlandians. Like I had one of them that was 2 chips that was Tweedle's bow tie, that if ever you get both of those chips in the same round, like when you're pushing your luck, you get to immediately add 2 supporters into the region. And I had some other things that like let me like I think it was another one of Alice's abilities that let you put one of your exhausted chips that's 1 or 2 back into your bag. So what that allowed me to do is if I only got one of the Tweedle's bow ties, but I was able to trigger that ability, I could put it back so that at least I'd have a chance at it the next turn. I also had the Duchess, which was a character that was in I could put in one of the regions, that at the beginning of the battle, I pick one of the other players, and then for the rest of that battle, every time they lose a supporter in that region, I get a victory point. Ooh. And so you can pick somebody who's got a ton of people that thought they were going to, push their luck a long way because they can kind of take these hits, but it's like, well, if you want to and take these hits, you're just going to be feeding me points. So it's kind of a fun one. This is one. This is probably the top one on my list of games in my collection that you haven't played that I think you should try. Well, I tell you what, Ryan,
the more you talk about it, I'm just like, this sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if you like it more than I like it. And I like it a lot.
So I should take it.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, it's not expensive, so
it's definitely not expensive. The premium chip version of
Right.
Wonderland's World. Yes,
Yeah.
it's very satisfying though with those chips.
Yeah,
So
no
good
kidding.
to get this one played. We'll have to make it happen.
yeah. What's the time length on this one?
It depends how many people you have. I would say it's probably like 3-player game could be around 2 hours.
Okay.
4-player game's probably pushing 2.5.
So it's kind of in that.
It
Big,
also
I mean,
depends
it's-
if people have played before.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is almost every time I play, I'm playing with new people. And so there's a little bit of this of like, man, if I got this back to the table with a group that
You
knew
could move
it,
a lot faster.
you could I think you really could cut down
Yeah.
the time quite a ways.
Right.
But unfortunately, you'll be new and probably super slow. So
wow.
3 out.
Shots fired
Yeah.
from Ryan.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
Ryan.
we'll see. We'll
Holy
report
cow.
back.
We'll report back. Very nice, Ryan. My moving over to my number 2. Oh, Ryan, was this a good game? This was such a fun game. We had a game night, kind of I'm working on getting kind of a larger group of gaming people here in Minnesota that we have I don't know, kind of monthly try to have a game night. And so had a bunch of people over and some people brought games too. And even though I own this game, we did not play my copy of this game. And this goes to Heat Pedal to the Metal.
Yeah,
So-
I did a double take when you sent me a photo of you playing this game. I was like, dang, it doesn't have that.
Yeah,
map.
so we raced on the Japan map because I had a buddy come over who had some of
The
the
heavy
expansion
rain.
context. He even had these sweet 3D printed like storage things for it. It was really slick. Like he just hands you your thing and it's got your car and your cars. I don't know. It was really cool.
You had full like on the table gear sticks that were actually from real cars.
We actually were
Yeah.
sitting in a
Yeah,
full 3D printed car. No,
You push on
but-
the gas pedal and it draws your car. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. But Ryan, I feel like every time we talk about this game, like it just feels like it delivers every single time, and this one was no exception. The thing that amazes me about it, and we get off to a start, and there was like some of us, got a fairly significant like lead of like two curves ahead of like some of the people in the back, and so there's that initial feeling and almost a fear internally of me because I think maybe one of them was kind of newer to the system of like, oh boy, is this gonna are they just gonna fall behind, and kind of that's just the whole race, which is a fear in a racing game, right? Is that you could just have that happen. But my goodness, does this game have the ability for amazing moments? And we weren't even playing with the garage module. I mean, we were playing with just the base, so their special cards are a 0 and a 5, and an extra heat, in all of it. But there's this one part of the track, you start off, there's some quick curves, then you come around a curve, but then there's a huge, long, kind of straightaway there. And man, this guy was just coming around the curve and just drew like, it was like his 5, 4, and then like a few stress cards as well, and like flips both 4s on those, and then boosts and get like, I don't know if he got another 4, if it was a 3 or something like that, but ends up like coming all the way back and getting right up against the next curve and right back in the mix. And it just like the game between that or like being able to, cross 2 curves or something like that, if you can time it up well. There are just so many moments where, you get ahead, but then someone makes a move and everyone's like, whoa, like that was, sweet. And the way it, just the jockeying for position in the game is just so satisfying. And this one, we did a 2-lap race, and man, it was coming down to the end, and I'm kind of hanging in there, maybe in like kind of 3rd place for a lot of it, but I get a big move and I get around the final curve, and I think I'm going to be the only one to get around this curve. And so I think I've got it. Like, I think that it's a wrap, like that's game. I'll be able to cross the finish line for my next turn. But then the guy next to me, he pulls off just this incredible move. And I don't know if he crossed 2 curves or whatnot, but I think so. And somehow without, spinning out, gets across the curve as well. So it's just us two with just this short straightaway finish. And now I'm actually like realizing I'm in terrible shape because he can get to gear 4. I can only get to gear 3. And because I don't have any heat left, so I can't that's not I didn't have any heat left at the moment. So I'm like, oh no, like I think he's got this. So he goes first and he gets across the finish line pretty far, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm only in gear 3. But I was able to like cool one heat back into my engine. But I go, and that was the other thing. I had all stress cards. I didn't have, so truly, like, I didn't know if I was going to cross the finish line or not. If I flip once.
Jesus, take the wheel.
I know, I'm just like, here we go. So I just drop him down and I flip 4. I flip another one, 4. I flip another one. I think it was like, it was either a 3 or a 4. I get all the way across the finish line and I am 2 spaces behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I was 3 spaces behind him, and I have 1 heat, and I can boost. Now I realized after the fact, even if I would have drawn a 3, he would have still won because he had the inside track. But it came down to a final flip of the car to see who would get it, and I flip it. And it's a 2, and
I've won a game like that.
Yeah, but Ryan, the energy at the table as like we're seeing those stress cards get resolved. I mean, because it was just like, who knew what was going to happen that turn? And we're just like, no way, no. And then it's the final one, and like we're standing and we flip it, and just no, and he gets the win. So, Ryan, this game,
it's good. Yeah, you're gonna have to remind me. So how does the rain work on that track?
So we actually didn't play with the rain rules.
Okay, so you just kind of
ignored it. Yeah, it's interesting. So you when you are in a rain space, I think it's like you can't shift down. Or something,
it's something like that. I've read the rules a long time ago, but I haven't played on it yet.
It's either you can't shift down or it like costs way more or something like that. So you need to like slow down before you get into the rain, so you can go. Which I think that's also just a really cool, thematic, interesting thing around that. So. Yeah, it was great. And playing, honestly, I was reminded, sometimes I'm encouraged to, I feel like, I'll just introduce the garage module right away to new people. I think it is really good to just start with the
I would only do that if I have a group that's like, this is a gamer group that's like played much more complex games.
Because it's just, I think it's helpful for learning just the base mechanics of Heat before you start going crazy. Yeah. So it was a blast, Ryan. It really was.
Nice. Very nice. You know, it was also a blast. Everything on this list was pretty good. This is kind of an interesting one making the list because it's kind of like it's an evolution of my family, of like a new era of being able to play games together.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, I have 2 sons that are 5 and 3, and my 5-year-old and I have played a ton of games. Maybe we'll even link we did his top 20 games on the channel not that long ago.
You're doing a top 20 with your 5-year-old.
And it could have been more than 20. That was just the top 20.
That's impressive.
But we've played a lot of the younger games with my 3-year-old, but he's still and they're different personalities too. I feel he's a little bit more of a pistol with, or maybe gets distracted more easily. But we this is a game that Toby, my oldest, loves, and we've played a lot, but it was like, hey, what if we try this 4-player with Theo and my wife as well? And so we pulled out Crokinole to play some 4-player Crokinole. And the thinking was, if I pair up with Theo, like I'm the strongest player, and Theo shockingly has this little flick.
No,
like,
he's
he
good.
Can play it.
I'm telling
he's got
you
a little
he
flick.
Is good.
No, I'm talking about Theo. You haven't seen Theo play.
Sorry, I was thinking of Toby. Toby almost beat me.
Theo
really
has a good. He's got this little flick. Like you're 3 years old. I'm like, you can play this game. And so we did 2-on-2, and it actually was like pretty well balanced teams.
Okay.
And, you know, the biggest barrier was just the fact that, you know, Theo gets bored after 10 minutes and starts running around.
That's a wild card that you have to navigate.
Keep telling him it's his turn. I got to keep inspiring my teammate.
You know?
I'm counting on you. It was so funny. So he, you know, we're like halfway through the game and he's off like running, playing with something. So he comes back and he's coming back with kind of this like, oh, I have to come do my turn.
Yeah.
And he just goes and he just flicks it and it just perfectly hits one of their discs off and bounces into the hole.
Oh,
just like cleared
God.
one and it was like a perfect shot.
That's so
it was
great.
like, whoa, Theo. And so then we go around again, and by the time he gets to his next turn, there aren't any opponent's discs on us. We're like, Theo, you can shoot for the hole, and he comes up and he just perfectly drills it into the hole. Back to back hole shots.
Is
One
he
of them
already better than
clearing.
me?
I don't know. It wouldn't take much, I don't think.
My gosh, I'm worried.
We got to work on his consistency a little bit. He had flashes of brilliance and some other shaky points. But, you know, we were going through this and we're like, man, I mean, other than needing to just keep him focused on the game, it's actually probably one of the better games that the four of us can play together.
Yeah.
Because, like, anything that's more... like the rules are in the, you know, it's not a dexterity game or something. We got to really come down to Theo's level and the complexity and play some of these younger games, which are still fun to play. And Toby, you know, still likes them. But playing this, it's like, you know, Toby and I are still getting to feel like we're playing Crokinole, like full out, like, you know, but then Theo's also involved. My wife was, it just actually worked really well. We've actually done it a couple of times now.
That's so cool.
Since this initial time. So yeah, had to make the list just because it was a fun experience getting to kind of do that for the first time. And there's not that many times that we play games with all four of us. And there's a variety of reasons. One, because of the age spread, but also just because there's different times where, like, you know, I'm doing something with the kids so that my wife can do something, you know, or is prepping dinner or whatever. So yeah, fun to have some full family game time. We'll have to see what other games start to work well for that. But Crokinole, hey.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, Ryan. Shout out to one of our viewers. I know on our top dexterity games video, you know, someone commented and mentioned, what was the game that's like Crokinole? But
maybe Karuka?
Yeah, Karuka.
Yeah.
So is that, I mean, maybe
I'm really interested in Karuka. Like to the point where I basically have already decided at some point in my life I'm gonna get Karuka.
Yeah.
But it's, you know.
No, after
like
they commented that, I looked into it. I was like, oh my gosh, that looks sweet.
Yeah, it looks awesome. It's cool because it's kind of like Crokinole meets pool because you're kind of trying to sink things into the pockets. But it's cool because the whole thing is like a lazy season. So like you can play it on a table and there's none of this like I need to move around to get my shot.
So thank you, viewers. See, we read your comments. They influence us.
Yes, it pushed Karuka back into the front of my mind. It's like, man, I do want Karuka.
Yeah, no, it looked cool. Okay, Ryan, we are to the top. The best of the best.
I wonder what it is.
Ryan doesn't know, except he does. You know, it's funny. We just released our what was it? Top games that we would most like to. We're most excited to try.
Yeah, it's a pretty good turnaround.
I know
on that video.
I know it. So I think it was that video that inspired me.
Like as you were talking in the video, your conviction was.
I was like, I gotta do this. You know, this is one of those examples of a very large game that is quite expensive, and yet being able to, you know, someone, again, I'm telling people, Facebook Marketplace, like people selling a game for maybe you can find a good deal on a game, and was able to pick up a copy of the Elder Scrolls Betrayal of the Second Era and got to play it for the first time with a buddy. And you know, I've played the Too Many Bones game with you, although I don't know, I feel like there's a little bit of a caveat.
You had one game that like doesn't even count, and then you have another one that you came in pretty unfamiliar again with.
And it is a game that is I mean, both of these games are ones that you need to be familiar with. Just there's so much so many abilities, so it's just hard. Like I remember in Too Many Bones, it's hard to read like the map when you don't know what people do and stuff, you know. Just
there's all these keywords that like it just says the keyword on the enemy, like,
so it's a game that honestly I think if I played more I would like really love, but just haven't quite done that yet. But you planted in my head a while back, you're like, hey Daniel, there's this game that they're coming out with that's kind of the Too Many Bones system, but Elder Scrolls theme, and rather than just being a one-off, it's you play a 3 kind of scenario campaign, which I tell you what, Ryan, ever since you with like arcs, have experience, I really am drawn to that.
Yeah, it's a more attractive model than the big 80 game campaign, at least for where we're at right now.
You still get that feeling of progression, although since it's only 3 games, oftentimes the progression is more drastic within a session than what you might get when it's, a 70, 80 game thing. And then this one, I think a little more than Too Many Bones just has a lot more customization with kind of maybe your character of like kind of character builds and stuff like that that you can do. So anyways, got to play this. I mean, I did everything in my power to know the rules in this game. I'm so grateful the guy I was playing it with, because he watched all like the how to play stuff too. And so we came in pretty dialed in on like knowing what we were doing. It is still a long game, like playing. I mean, I think ours, the first time playing, and we did the like introductory jailbreak scenario before jumping right into it, which you don't always have to do. But I think we were still like 4.5, pushing 5 hours with it. But wow, this game is cool. This game, Ryan, it really feels like it kind of just hit exactly what I was hoping for. I mean, it gives one just the awesome Too Many Bones combat experience of, the chips on the map moving around. Now this one's interesting because, and correct me if I'm wrong, in Too Many Bones, you're always on that kind of 5x5 or 4x4
map. Yeah, so, it's just this little tactical thing,
which I think is really, interesting in navigating that. But this one, you definitely get a little bit more of the like on a map and whatnot. Now, oftentimes that map is the same shape, but it's a little bit larger. Now, there are things called delves, which you end up... There's a few different types of things where there's a little bit more of an exploring around type thing. But that was kind of a cool change. And so, I was talking about character customization. I was the dark elf, but I kind of went a healer route. Like I got the healer, if it's an ability skill, I forget what it's called. Class maybe, yeah. And so I'm kind of going the healer route. The guy I'm playing with is the Argonian class, and he went kind of rogue, and so he's building a little bit more of a tank type character, and I'm kind of the sit back healer type guy and attacking from range. And just like being able to get skill, being able to, like, when you go to the town, there's so many different upgrades you can do in the game. You can obviously go into the shop and get items. You can go to a trainer and you can upgrade they'll randomize what skills are available to train, and you can literally add it to your board, and then that's a new set of dice that you can start, upgrading. But what's interesting is on your sheet, there's 4 slots on the left and 4 slots on the right. And so you have to decide, like, if I upgrade a skill here and then I upgrade a skill on that same row on the other side, like, they're kind of competing. So you kind of got to decide, like, which areas do I want to not go as high in so that I can go bigger on the other side. So that's a little bit of even the tension in that, which I think is kind of cool. But I mean, I think one of the things I loved about this was, you head out on this big map, and you've got your little piece to show where your party's at, and you're looking out and you're like, where do we want to explore? Do we want to go over here? Do we want to, go have, what encounters do we want to have? It's got the kind of what we love in like Eldritch Horror of just the random scenario, what's gonna happen. And one of the things that I love so much about this was Too Many Bones too, is that whole battle system of the enemy point value, and then you draw the chips based off of it. So, if you have 9, you're going to draw a 5 and 4 ones. Whereas if you have 11, you're going to draw 1 10 and a 1,
Yeah. Or 2 5s, or at least Too Many Bones I don't think has 10s.
I think so. Elder Scrolls has a 10. Okay. So, that is just... That whole system is fantastic. And so we had a really fun play. This was it was an interesting one. We, ended up having this encounter that let us like choose a route that boosted us really far on the map, which was huge because you're trying to kind of travel and get all the way to the end here. So we were able to get ahead really fast. and whatnot. And we were going around having some different scenarios, but the game was taking a while, and so it's getting late, and we still have the final scenario. And so I'm like, oh boy, like, I mean, this might.
And when you say final scenario,
like
this is all the first. This is all still the
all
first
within
of
the
three?
first session. So in the first session, you come out on a map, and you've got kind of a, hey, this is where you're trying. This is what you're trying to do. This is where you're trying to get to. They recommend, hey, you want to get here kind of by this round or whatnot. But then, and there might be some intermediary objectives between there that you're trying to get to, but really you're moving around on this map, ultimately building up, trying to get to that point. Kind of almost the Mage Knight, like you're trying to like get stronger and stronger and stronger, so you're strong enough by the time you get to the end. But the last scenario was such a weird scenario. Like we got so lucky. Like, we got an item that let us, the next time we enter into a delve, which a delve is just basically you enter onto just a little map piece, but then you have to just explore, and you have no, you draw a card every time you explore, and you have no idea how it's going to come out. But you're trying to find these shards, and they're not on every card. So, you know, if you draw cards that don't have these glass shards, you have to just keep exploring. Well, we had an enchantment card that we got to place that said on the next delve you go into, you get to draw 2 cards and choose which one. And this was a scenario where we had to find 3 shards. And so every single one we were able to bring a shard out. And there were so many enemies, and we would have died in no time, but we literally were just able to like we just sprinted in. We just sprinted through, got the shard, and got out in like you didn't even have to get back out. It just, once you got all 3, you succeeded, and did it in like a few turns. We almost thought we were cheating. Like, we were like, are we playing this right? So it wasn't really the best representation at the very final part. But was an example of like, we found some items that made it amazing for it. And so it's got, you know, if you've played people who've played like the video game, it's got this similar feel of just discovering items and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, Ryan, this one, very excited to get this one to the table again. In Too Many Bones, does it have the cooldown track? I
think that
might be a new thing. Okay, so that's really interesting, because when you spend dice, they go down into this cooldown track, and at the start of the game, your cooldown is set to 2, which means at the start of every turn you get 2 dice back. You can actually upgrade that. Costs a lot, but even that, you know, if you get filled up on your cooldown track, like that can be, you know, really tough. But you can also get things to kind of manipulate, you know, your cooldown track and getting things back. I mean, I even got this. I upgraded a skill called Acrobat, which is so cool. So it's this yellow die that you roll it, but then it doesn't do anything immediately, but you put it into your cooldown track. And as long as it's in your cooldown track, you at the start of your turn can move the number of spaces that the die is rolled at. So you actually kind of want it in a longer cooldown track, because then you can keep like jumping, you know, moving around really fast. And that's been huge, because I don't have good movement normally. So there you go, Ryan. I could probably keep going, but my number one, so fun to try this one. And I mean, again, just one play, but it feels like this could be one that stands the test of time, especially because it's not a just like campaign and you're done. You know, it's not a just play through it once, and like a Gloomhaven. Like, we played through it, but once you're through it, you kind of just, you know, it's like you're probably not going to go play it again. This one is replayable over and over and over.
One way shorter.
And shorter, totally.
You have so many more on-ramps to start a new campaign with somebody new. Or,
right.
You know, Gloomhaven obviously had the, like, over the course of that long thing, you do get to play new characters and things.
Yeah, for sure.
But it still is pretty, like, slow compared to, like, just a 3-session thing. Yeah, that's cool. It's cool. It makes me want to play Too Many Bones some more as well. My number one, Daniel mentioned in his number one. And this is Mage Knight.
Oh.
A similar kind of lane here as far as played a 2-player on kind of cooperative, heavier strategy game. I hadn't played Mage Knight in a while and had the opportunity to play with my friend that's played it the most, and so I mean it's like the ideal
That is.
scenario to just like we
And
we
he
know
remembers
the,
all the rules.
yeah, he's also my friend that can help me remember rules. So between the two of us, chances are we'll remember most of them.
There you go.
But yeah, it just this game, man. It honestly, we had a pretty dominant performance. You know,
Okay.
us seasoned veterans of Mage Knight. There were definitely some lucky things that went our way.
Yeah.
To because there's some little things that if they swing just right, we were very lucky actually with how the map came out at the end. Because like we got the two, we were doing one of the ones where you just have to defeat 2 castles, and we got those as the first 2 of the core tiles instead of getting another one first.
Yeah.
And the way they came out, we weren't. It's so often in Mage Knight you get to those last ones and you're either blocked by lakes in kind of an annoying way, or there's like a dragon that you're forced to encounter.
Right.
Because it's like, oh, we either need to fight this dragon, or when we attack the city, it's going to provoke the dragon, and the dragon's also going to be in the attack. And so we actually didn't have to fight a dragon the way things came out and everything. But man, this game, it just... There's a lot of games that have like this engine building and have this concept of like you get to feel like you have a big turn, like you kind of line everything up, and it feels like you just get to repeatedly do that in Mage Knight because so much of it is kind of like, okay, I'm gonna try to move but try to hold on to some things so that when I get to my next conflict, like I can just really unload and hopefully do, you want to find conflicts that are like just on the edge of your ability.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if I can make it through and survive, I'm going to get better rewards, and like you need to be upgrading as much as possible. I was the character that's really good at like using influence, and I right away, my first advanced action card I got was another one that helped with that. So I ended up having a really good set of units.
That's huge.
Down the stretch, which is fun because you don't always get to play into that as much depending on who you have. And so it was the first time I think I'd ever gotten the Altem Guardians, who are a very expensive unit that I think you can only get in a city. And they're like, I think it's either like a 5 attack or it was 8 block, and it can count twice against swiftness, because swiftness is the one that you have to like double block basically.
Yeah, right.
Or it was like you could spend a mana and it would make all your units get all resistances. So they would suddenly all be very good at defending. So that was just really, really powerful. And we ended up just dominating. The last cast, I mean, usually it's quite close down the stretch in Mage Knight. This one was like we both felt like we could have taken another person, and still been okay. But yeah, man, even dominating the game is, it was no less
can you
fun.
Can you scale the difficulty in that game?
There's definitely ways to scale the difficulty. We were playing just a standard co-op, and we play on the Blitz mode usually.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said that with the two of us that are more experienced. Now, honestly, if we had played it more recently, like it had been so long since playing it that it was like, let's just do a pretty vanilla thing. But playing against that like Voltaire guy with special scenarios, I think those are a little harder. So that would be a good one to go to as well. But I think there are some different things you can do to tune it.
Cool.
But still fun, even when you're... and it wasn't like it was dominant the whole way. Like there were a lot of things that felt hard along the way.
Yeah.
But the way the timing of the ending happened and just everything, it was like we felt pretty comfortable with those final battles.
Yeah.
I had another cool card. I think it was called Shield Bash. And I don't think I'd had this one before. I think the normal effect was just like some kind of block that could double against swiftness. But the powered up version was a like 5 block or something that counted twice against swiftness. But it also made it that every excess block you had lowered the armor of the enemy by 1. And so actually the first castle we had, I faced a guy that was much harder than what we had in the second castle. Because it was like a freaking, what was it? It was like 4 ice fire attack, and like he was like physically resistant or something. So you had to get like 16 damage against him unless you had like, the type of elemental. And so this actually ended up being really huge against it because I overblocked, which reduces his armor, which bypasses that resistance. Because if I'm attacking him, I need 2 attack for every armor.
Right.
But because I was directly lowering the armor. And so that was like the reason I was able to beat that guy without having to, go the route that you often go in Mage Knight, where you're like, well, I guess I'm not blocking. Take all the wounds and then just.
Yeah, it's all good.
So I was actually able to block it and do the 16 damage because I was able to lower it quite a bit. So that was a very cool card. And yeah, I mean, just with the Ultimate Edition and having all the content, like, that advanced action deck isn't huge, but you also don't see that many every game. And so you really do get this unique build every time that just, or even the fact that this is something I hadn't really thought about with the builds, because obviously each character has kind of their own unique thing, and those like skill tiles you get are unique to the character, give you a lot of the feel of your character. But the interesting thing when you're playing co-op is the one you don't take each time goes to like the shared pool. And then whenever somebody's upgrading, you have the choice of your two, but you also could pick one from the shared pool as long as you take the bottom advanced action card. And so there's this actual like subclassing thing, because you can get someone else's skill tile,
right?
And I think I did have one of his, and that kind of like helped me in a different way. So just really cool stuff. It's a beast when it comes to the rules, and there's a lot of, I guess bloat is the word I would use in this design, but the bloat delivers such a good experience. Like, it works so well. It's like worth it. I wouldn't change, many things about it. Maybe I would change that, like, ice block doesn't block fire attacks, because it always is confusing that it's backwards of the resistances, but
well, I tell you what, Ryan, we were talking a little bit beforehand. I think that this might be my top of, like, I need to get this game played,
because I have it
now. And it's and you just need one other person who's interested in it. And even more so than Elder Scrolls, which we said was appealing to have 3 missions, this one gives you all of that in one. And so you just, in the course of one session, feel like you have done so much and have so much growth and all of that.
Well, and with the two of us being experienced and playing on Blitz mode, we came in under 3 hours.
Oh my
for Mage
gosh,
Knight.
that's so good.
That's like, that's killer.
So good.
I mean, we were even going, maybe next time we try the non-Blitz mode. Because then you do 3 days and nights instead of 2. And there is something to be said. You would feel even more epic development over the game. So we might try it sometime.
Holy cow.
But yeah, I mean, the fact we could get that experience in under 3 hours is just like, now, I will not say that. I'm not going to advertise that that's the normal. Like, I would say we are
maybe
pretty,
double that.
We're pretty. The two of us are pretty quick. It's like the ideal situation to be able to play that game quickly.
Right.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I was almost getting to the point where I was going to think about playing it solo, just because I knew I needed to get it played.
Have you ever done that?
So it would be fun to try sometime. I haven't, but it's supposed to be amazing.
People love it.
And I don't know why it wouldn't be. So maybe I will sometime. But yeah, look at that. 2 big 2-player co-op.
Which one weighs more?
Heavyweights.
I think they mind up.
Chip theory, man.
Holy
they
cow.
go for weight.
That's
in
right.
Their games.
It's worth it.
But man, they delivered this month.
Well, if you've got a chunk of change that you're just wondering, where am I going to spend this money? We've got some opportunities for you with links to all these games. Some rather expensive that we have down below, but man, were some super fun ones worth checking out. And it is worth checking out these videos that we have right here, because we got more content just for you. We will see you in the next one.